Anyone ever wondered if it's better to do rituals or breach or any other kind of endgame activity? I'm here to tell you that the best result of them all is to put them all together via juicing up the towers, preferably around a citadel. And honestly, maybe I was just lucky, but it seems like an audience with the king, if you have the passives for it of course, isn't that rare anymore. So that's a guaranteed 8 divines. I just had to double check, and yeah, I'm correct, it's around 8 divines, unless you wanna try yourself and get the ingenuity belt, then try your luck even further on with corrupting it. But yeah, from 8 to over 100 up to a mirror price of ingenuity, it all depends on your luck at that point. If you wanna risk it to check your luck and go to drop the ingenuity, then corrupt it to 98%, but I can guarantee you, I could put my head on the table for it, if you get a 98 ingenuity, you're a mirror reach or mirror plus, just if there's no duping motherfuckers of course. But anyway, why I say it's good to do that around citadels, simply because of the amount of towers all around, including the fact that you can put quantity of items dropped for the citadel itself, and that's gonna be your results. Oh, he dropped 3 of them. Yes, he dropped 3. Oh, it's worth it. Fucking all around the fucking towers. No matter how hard you will want to guarantee yourself multiple drops, well, simply life's not always rainbows and sunshines. No, he only dropped 1 this time. And remember, you're always stacking up on the breach splinters whenever you do breach plus ritual tactic, which results in you being able to either sell for around 180 the breach stone completed, or you can give a zest a go, especially if you don't have your passive points for the breach. Possibly drop the Hands of Wisdom, which sell for at least like 3 or 4 divines, or get the diamond, which you can corrupt, and if you get quite nice like small minimal debuffs on it for the resistances and a massive ring, you can sell it for 30 plus divines, as I had it done here. But I will never recommend you gambling like this, so this is completely up to you. Either you need the passives, or you just wanna sell it, or you just wanna give it a go. It's completely up to you, but I will not ever recommend you gambling on stuff. And I always say it's better to try to guarantee yourself with the waystones bonuses for the quantity of items drops and the precursor tablets than just trying to do any gamba in the game. Just remember to be smart with your offerings, so you always can defer the audience when it appears, and trust me, investing into yourself to complete 4 times the first audiences you see is gonna be the best, because you need those passive points, and you need that ingenuity belt yourself probably. For the passive atlas skill points you can go either like this or like this, and what I have here is that very important part, the 30 increased quantity of precursor tablets, because you can sell all the 10 maps in range rituals for quite some nice exalted orbs. I think you can go even for over 100. But what you're gonna pick in the end here is completely up to you. Either you want the local knowledge, the precursor influence, or to go for the duplicated rare monster, it's up to you, but this is what I prefer the most for the standard atlas skill points. For the ritual skill points, what I recommend you is to invest into your own character to go and kill twice kinginthemists for this, the 50% chance to contain audience with the king. It's just godly to have for the entire tactic of farming here, and on top of that, in those 2 kills, if you're lucky like me, you can drop an ingenuity belt ×2 and it's completely gonna return you divine orbs and get you some profit on the way. And the next 2 obvious choices is rituals, letting you reroll 1 more time at 25 reduced tribute cost for reroll, and that your map will have always 4 ritual altars, because that's just way more offerings. I used to pick this before, but I realized that sometimes I just don't have enough to reroll second time, and with 4 rituals it's completely different. But in the end, between those 2, it's gonna be a personal preference choice. What I run is this, but it's completely up to you. Both are good, I just think this is slightly better. For the breach tree, it looks like this, what I use, pretty simple, but it all bases around having as much monster density as possible, plus possibility of getting additional breaches on your map. And there is one reason why we really want bosses on our maps. First, it's waystone sustain, they drop piece out of waystones, and the best part is, if we don't have the corruption on the map, they will corrupt the map, and they always have irradiate on the map, since we have this. So, having those 2 things to trigger gives us 2 levels on the map. Doing Waystone tier 16 plus 1 level from Irradiate and plus 1 level from Corruption is always the most fun we can get. And we can also instill emotions on our waystones that we're using if your PC will not just completely surrender to the fog all around. I wasn't doing that before because that fog was quite annoying, but in the end it's quite worth it because I mainly farmed it to get my simulacrums, to get 8-8 here as well, and what I run is mirrors. Isn't it tempting, but I think it's bugged. Get out of my head, and would you like to see my face? But getting breach splinters and simulacrum splinters all together by just running a map that doesn't require you to have the mirrors on the map as well is just perfect. And adding distilled greed to your waystone gives you extra rarity of items found or other emotions for other effects, so it's always good, and that just enables the entire delirium on the map. Just that fog can be annoying for some people, so it's completely up to personal preference if you wanna instill, but this is the most farming you can get. So just take a look at this zone all around the citadel. What I have here is so many towers that are all used precursor tablets on, and I cleaned the nodes going towards them to get the best ones left, and this is how it looks with extra effects on the maps. I also activated all of them once I was done unlocking all of them as well, so I didn't get anything separately on the nodes, but all junked up in one spot. And everything that was overlapping on the citadel had some quantity of items, but look on all the other perks. Aside of the 15% experience gain and more magic monster and the quantity of items, the ritual favors in area have 6 increased chance to contain omens, and that's where I got the most expensive one for the chaos orb, removing the smallest tier one. Revived monsters from rituals in area have 10 increased chance to be rare, 19 to be magic, which gives more offerings. And rerolling favors cost 12% reduced tribute and all other stuff like this. And I see 2 citadels here and a couple of towers, so I will use this spot to show you how it looks like. And I already have one lost tower here waiting for its precursor tablet. Although it's barely out of reach for the citadel node, it doesn't really matter because I have all the nodes around here, and I really like most of the maps all around the citadels. With the exception of the Val one, but it is what it is because this is the Val citadel. But well, gotta deal with it. But at least I start with a very good map, with a boss, irradiated map of course because it's a boss map and a ritual on it, and I will use 100 rarity waystone with instilled emotions on it for extra rarity. And after the first ritual I got 130 offerings, which is the exact reason why I always want 4 rituals, what I'm gonna buy with it. Look how nice it looks, we can go all around it already, and all of the maps here near the citadel itself has bosses on it, which is just perfect for our tactic. After getting the 3 towers, I realized I will only have like 4 towers, barely reaching on that particular citadel, but I have one more too, so I decided to get all of them here as well before I start to do the proper mapping. Remember, by doing this, we knock off the nodes that we don't really want to do as a good map, so like all the auguries, Val factories, that's what we want to eliminate. And as it's done, now it's time to juice up some towers. In this particular case, we have a tower that covers both nodes for the citadels. Then the best precursor tablet is gonna be the boss one, with 12 increased quantity of items dropped by map bosses, and that 10% quantity items found in your maps overall. So that double quantity for the one that covers both citadels. And I see here there is barely rituals, only one here. And we have some experience special event, but I will not juice it up for now as I just leveled up, so I'm completely fine with it, happy with my level. I'm just gonna put some rituals over here. And since I personally got peace load of the breach tablets, that's where I'm putting the last one, in the one that's like a bit off of the citadel, just hopefully getting something here and getting some buff to just maps in the range. And I really needed one more ritual one that I wanted to put here, and this is exactly why I used this, the precursor influence, because I ran out of the precursor tablets for ritual and they are quite hard to come by, and fucking around with trade is just very annoying, so I'm forced to put the breaches and just some more bosses on the maps here, even though it's not really ideal from what I wanted to do, but it will have to do. But this spot is the one I like way more for sure. I have lots of bosses, rituals, bosses are nearly everywhere to be fair, and I have rituals mixed with breach, just perfect. And a special event that I didn't even realize exists for increased rarity instead XP. I'd rather the XP one, but I wonder what I'm gonna get here. It's gonna be hard to compete with the zone that I streamed with this many modifiers on it because how many towers I had all around, but I think it will do, and I still leave this one for later since I really wanna see the results of the less pumped up zones, but this overall here, that was probably the best farm I had so far, but that's like 11 towers or something, and I just was too bored to get even more. This one reaches, so maybe later on I will get to this one first, put some bosses here, but we'll see. But for me it's time to do a couple of these and let's see the results. And let's start with the Vaults of Kamasa because that's gonna be the first time I'm doing it myself. Socket the 16 and let's go. Well, that is 1 giga boring empty zone with only vaults to click, so let me click all of them and see what we get. That was disappointing, what a waste of that waystone. I just quickly wanna say that we don't fucking need that fucking the waystones, why is it even here? So the third map with ritual gives me already an audience with the king, I just need to do the last ritual to defer it. And you gotta remember that I just picked one, so that's just big win for me. The beautiful moment of deferring it, wow. I'm not gonna lie, the previous 3 maps with rituals I rerolled both times, so I had like 9 reward sets. That's first reroll on this map, so it's 11th time, and that's the first one reward that we can really look on. But I managed to drop a divine orb from a boss before, and that's another 8 divines while we on the way to Doriani. So now all that's left is to see how many fragments we can squeeze out of him. So time to see what he gives us. Hopefully it's like 3 times, but you can't always win it. But let's see. Oh, 2. Still, I'd say decent. Better than 1 for sure. So that's 2 times 231 exalted orbs as of now, plus the audience with the king, which probably gonna be around 8 divines. Well, that's 2.1k exalted orbs and nearly 8 divines, yeah. But don't forget about all the random drops that I don't really pay attention to, the level, and the fact we are playing the game instead sitting on the trade side in our hideout doing nothing other than just trying to get trades off, to do that salvage on the 20% quality armor stuff, to get that scraps for armor, you know? I didn't even know that I had one more deferred before. Well, that's two fucking audiences with the king then, bro. And since I have to get those 2 audiences with the king out of the rituals, it's perfect time to utilize the ritual maps I left on the good hotspot with 11 towers. And I also don't think there was ever better time to swap temporarily out of these, to go here and get the cheaper defers, and go back here after we pick them up from the ritual, because I heavily doubt my luck that I get the third one if I play this, so I'm gonna go with the defers for a moment. And just like this, I can defer both of them for 528, just perfect, that's a first ritual. And meanwhile, I'm just trying to get my audiences with the king out. I'm getting something like Omen of Amelioration, or however you pronounce it, which is really good, and I'm always running with 1 active, signs on level 96, losing 10% XP is brutal. Ooh, divine. Oh, what the fuck is this, another divine, I love that. To anyone who would wonder, I only have 52 rarity myself on gear, and that comes only from my ring and ingenuity combo of it. So far I did 1, 2, 3, 4 maps with rituals, 5, 7, 8 and 9. So I think I will do the 10th map, with the stone citadel being the 10th map to be counted, and let's see what we get out of all of that. So let's see how many do we get this time. Would be nice if you gave us 3. Ah, 2 again, still better than 1 I guess. Well, I didn't get that many breach overlaps since I got horny to pick up my audiences with the king, but excluding that one that I had before, we got an Omen of Amelioration, which I'm really happy for. 2 audiences for some reason, I didn't even notice it. 4 weathered crisis fragments. We can count actually 1 audience, I don't know, like if I deferred it during it. I actually lost count, but well, those 4 fragments, sadly we didn't get the triple drop. 141 breach splinters, 1 full simulacrum, and 1 Omen of Greater X, but I'm not gonna even count it. And I picked those 2 divines on the way, so if it's worth it, I think it's 100% worth it and one of the best farming tactics. Since first of all, you're not fucking around with trade, not sitting in your hideout only, trying to get someone to actually sell you stuff that you whisper for. And that's pretty much quite godly loot, you getting XP, you playing the game, only benefits out of it.